Hi everyone, today we're going to learn about object-oriented programming, also known as OOP. OOP is a way of writing organized code into objects, self-contained units that contain both data and behavior. This approach makes your code modular, reusable, and easier to manage. It's like building with Lego blocks. Each object is a piece that fits together to create something bigger. To understand OOP, let's use an analogy, like a CEO running a company. The CEO is like a class, a blueprint for creating objects. The departments like HR and IT are like properties, data that belongs to the class. Employees are like methods, actions that the class can perform. The CEO doesn't typically go around setting up all the tables and computers for all the employees. They're focused on the bigger picture. The CEO will take this bigger picture, break it down into smaller chunks, which are then passed down to the departments, which in turn will break it down even further to be passed to the employees who will perform the required tasks to complete the project. This structure makes your code organized and scalable, just like a well-run company. Now here's something interesting. JavaScript isn't a traditional OOP language like Java or C++. Instead, it is a prototype-based language, meaning it uses prototypes to share behavior between objects. But don't worry, JavaScript still supports OOP concepts like classes, objects, inheritance, and encapsulation. In fact, with modern JavaScript, ES6 or later, we can write OOP code that looks very similar to traditional OOP languages. Let's see how. So, to begin, let's create a CEO class in JavaScript. We use the class method and we name it CEO. And we are ready to start. So, now the class has been defined, we use a constructor, which is a special method that runs when you create a new object. It sets up the object's initial properties, and here's how it works. We use the constructor method, and we give it two parameters, so name and company in this instance. And to fill this out, we simply say this.name is name, and this.company is company. Fantastic. So now, let's make a method. We will call this method makeAnnouncement, because it just makes sense that a CEO would want to make an announcement. So we will pass in a parameter, which is just a simple message. And for now, we will just say console.log. We will use backticks because we want to inject JavaScript, and we want to say this.name says inject more JavaScript message. Awesome. We have a class with a constructor and a method. So now let's start creating a CEO object. To do this, we just do simple variable, so const. We will call it myCEO. We will use the new method because we want to create a new class. We want to create a new CEO class. And just like in above, we asked for two parameters. So we will take in a name. And we will also take in the company. So let's use Skynet. Great. This is our CEO object. Now, let's use this object. So we will call the object of CEO. We will say use this method. And then as we have put in our method needs a message. So let's say let's build something. And as you can see here, it is displaying the CEO and the message. The constructor sets the name and the company when the object is created, while the method performs any actions. And we created the CEO object here, and we used it to make an announcement just here. So why are constructors important? Three things. Initialization. They set up the object properties when it's created. Consistency. They ensure every object starts with the same structure. And efficiency. They just save you from manually setting properties every time. Without a constructor, you would have to do everything every time, just like a CEO setting up every desk in the office. So let's expand our CEO class to also manage departments. For that, we simply just say this.departments equals an empty array. And now let's make a method to populate that. So we will use a method, or we will create a method called hire department. And this will require an input of a department. And to fill this out, we just say this dot departments dot push, and then we will push the input of the department. We can also add a console log using the backticks because we want to inject JavaScript, and just say department, and then we can say department has been hired. Fantastic. So now let's use this. So we can just call it again, the object, my CEO, and we can call the method hire department, and we can just say IT. And then if we copy this again, we can also say finance. And that's it. That is the basics of OOP in JavaScript using a CEO analogy. So let's have a quick recap. JavaScript isn't a traditional OOP language, but it still supports OOP concepts like classes, constructors, and methods. Constructors set up your objects, methods define their actions. OOP helps you write organized, reusable code. So why should you use OOP in JavaScript? Well, that will make more sense when building out large and complex systems and applications, as it offers three main things: organization to the structure of your code into logical, self-contained units like our CEO and departments. Reusability. With OOP, you can create reusable blueprints, which are the classes, and avoid rewriting the same code. For example, you can create multiple CEO objects without duplicating code. Scalability. As your project grows, OOP makes it easier to add new features and manage complexity. OOP can help you write cleaner, more efficient code. Try creating your own classes and objects and see how OOP can level up your JavaScript skills. Thanks for watching and happy coding!